Of course, speaking assertively is only half the battle because you also want to learn how to be an active listener. And active listening is a common term. It's used to mean that you are actively engaged. It's an exhausting task. And you're able to paraphrase back what you're hearing because you're so dialed into what they're saying. Of course, active listening can be hard if you're listening to a long speech or someone going on. But if you're listening to the formula, like we taught in the last video, then it actually makes it much easier to catch that ball they're throwing you because you know you're listening for 4 specific things.
And that really is the goal of this, right? Is that you're keeping things in bite-sized chunks. So let's give an example of what active listening might look like. Let's use the example we looked at a little bit in the last video about taking out the garbage. Mm-hmm. So if I were to go to Abigail because she didn't take out the garbage, my understanding is we had agreed that she said she would. I can assume going into this all these really negative things, but none of them may be true. So instead, what it would be much better to do is to state the issue, what I'm feeling about it, and then allow her the opportunity to think about it and then come back and talk with me. So let's just go into this, and we'll give you an example of what this looks like. So Abigail gets home from work. I would say, "Hey Ab, I've got to tell you, I'm feeling slightly just frustrated. I'm feeling frustrated." Mm-hmm. I appreciate how hard you work. I know you had an early meeting this morning, but last night when we talked about taking out the garbage since it's trash day, you said you would do it, and it didn't go out. And so I'm frustrated about it, and I want to find the time to talk about it.
Okay, so I'm hearing you say you're frustrated. You appreciate how hard I work, but you were frustrated that the trash didn't go out today, that I didn't take the trash out, and you want to find time to talk about it.
Yeah, almost. But I thought we had said last night you would do it. So it's not just that you didn't, but I thought we'd agreed that you would do that.
We'd agreed that I would do it, and then I didn't. And you want to find time to talk about it?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Let me process that. Let me do the 3 Ps, and maybe we can talk in an hour?
Yeah, I think an hour would work. Yeah, it'd be good. So what you can see there, now that's a perfect example of us just making sure that each part was hit. What was important for me to be able to make sure she got was, it was not just that like she's slave to the trash, that in the way I understood it, not that she was agreeing, that she said she would do it, right? And so it was important that, well, it's not just, again, that you're supposed to be like the trash person, but we had talked last night, and maybe I misunderstood, because the reality is, she may come back to me and say, I've done my 3 Ps on this. I really thought you said you would do it. And so I think we had a miscommunication, right? That'd be explaining why she didn't take it out.
And if we don't use the active listening, instead, when Scott comes to me with that issue and he lays that out for me, instead of actively listening, I could respond defensively.
Yeah.
You don't even know what I went through this morning. If you had walked in my shoes, you wouldn't have taken the trash out either, okay? It was stressful. It was horrible, trying to get the kids out the door.
And so what we end up doing, and that's a great, thank you. It felt so real.
So real.
It's so real. But by using the formula and using active listening, what it allows is it keeps it about the issue. The issue ultimately is the trash didn't go out. And that's what you want to keep your mind on. You share the feelings, because if I were to just go in and go, why didn't you take the trash out today?
What am I, the trash queen? I'm not the only person that takes trash out, and I had to get to work today.
Oh, I didn't have to work today. You just see where that goes. And not that you've ever been there exactly. And so we wanted to give you just another way to communicate effectively. Now, in our next session, we're going to talk about some of the common issues that people face when you're trying to go to assertive. But we're going to give you some words to put around some negative styles with our passive aggressive and passive aggressive, some common things that people do. So tune to the next video.